The very evidence that you have compiled in the thoughts and the behaviors that have led to your actions that has proven to you, can you show up for you? Why do you do the very things that harm you, that create an evidence for yourself that says, I can't trust me, or you can't trust yourself? So then what ends up happening is that you go to a different person hoping that they give you the compliments that you desire, that they give you the love, the attention, and that's all great, but to the extent where the very chasing of him now hurts you. The very chasing of the thing that you so desperately want now hurts you. And I'm coming to realize that the law of detachment is something that everyone needs to explore, and in order for you to explore that, you have to explore a self-awareness with yourself. I was at the gym earlier. I was just talking with another gym girlie, with another person, she was a woman, and she was just saying, I love your hair. What do you do when you straighten your hair? And I said, oh, well, I first have to blow dry it. I blow dry it the day before. After that, I have to straighten it in the morning, right? And you're like, why would you straighten your hair when you're gonna go to the gym? Okay, that's a different topic, okay? That's not the point. But the point is, like, I started talking to her and I was like, yeah, that's a lot of work. She was saying, yeah, that's a lot of work. And in my head, the way I talk to myself is with love and with grace. And it wasn't always like that, right? Probably I didn't talk to myself a lot. And you probably don't talk to yourself as much as you think you should. And I was telling her, and while recalling those memories, I was telling myself, I was like, babe, like, you're over here straightening your hair. That's a sentence, a phrase I was talking to myself. Like, in the moment that I'm straightening my hair, I'm like, babe, you're literally straightening your hair. It's going to get ruined. Like, your hair is going to go back curly, right? Your hair is going to go back curly. It's going to be a mess. But why are you straightening your hair? Because it's like, if you look good, you feel good, you perform good. And so I was telling her that sentence that I told myself. And she was like, what, babe? Like, what do you mean, babe? And I was like, oh, he's like, you have a boyfriend? I was like, I know, that's how I talk to myself. Or like, that's like, I was recalling that surface of how I was speaking to myself in the moments when I straightened my hair. After that, she was like, oh, like, yeah, no, I don't care. And here's the thing, you can kind of feel like, oh, should you not talk to yourself like that? Should you not be kind to yourself? When it comes to healing or being kind to you, there seems to be a little brush off, and that shouldn't be. And the reason why it shouldn't be is that when you heal yourself, you're able to show up in the fullness of you for others. But because you skip you and you jump to, let's say, chasing him or protecting others, there's a part of you that's not in the fullness of doing that. And it comes to this self-compassion and writing your self-story. And what do I mean by writing your self-story? Writing your self-story comes about the very evidence that you have compiled in the thoughts and the behaviors that have led to your actions that has proven to you, can you show up for you? And if you look at that evidence, what you will say is one or two things. You would say, that evidence is, no, I cannot show up for myself. Why? Don't really trust myself. Or two, it's like, I don't think I'm smart enough. I don't think I'm good enough. I don't think I'm pretty enough. So, even saying that, I don't even want to say that. I don't even like for that to be in my vocabulary. But for this part of the video, it's like, that tends to be your process. That tends to be your thought process. And so when you have looked at the evidence and you have compiled the evidence, what ends up happening is that we just skip that. We skip the evidence that we have, and we want that unfailing love, that desired love. We want those compliments. We want to be taken care of. But that creates a reliance on someone else. And when that someone else rejects you, or abandons you, or insults you, or just discards you, or crushes you, because I know we have all been there in the point where we have felt discouraged, we have felt like an outcast. At least I have, right? I have felt like an outcast. I've never felt like fully included in things, in different aspects of my life, right? And so it comes to just like, oh, you desire this unfailing love, but you search for it in the wrong places. And when you search for it in the wrong places, the evidence of that is you're hurt. And you don't have the law of attachment. You have this desperate energy of like this longing to you. It's like you want things to work, and I understand you want things to work, but some things don't work for the reasons because of which the way you sought after them was just, it's like building the foundation of what you built on, it was already imperfect from the beginning. So writing your self story comes about with a few points that we're going to get into, and it starts with number one, self-awareness. I was talking to this girl, and she was telling me how she longs to be consistent in the gym. The perception of how she has been showing up is not something she desires. She knows that she can show up even better and everything, but also it's to the point that she was in the progress of better improving herself, and her to better improve herself came about a relationship of hers that she kept chasing after him, and he kept just repelling away from her. And it's that thing, it's like the more you keep chasing after that thing, it repels from you. And when she was telling me this, she was so hurt and so distraught, and I could see it in her eyes. There's one thing that I caught on, and the one thing that I caught on was this self-awareness. And I was like, you chase him, but yet he pulls away from you. And then she's like, yeah, I know. And she was like, when he does that, I don't like how that feels. I don't feel good with myself. You are self-aware, right, when something's hurting you. You are self-aware of the habits that you make. You are self-aware of the thoughts that you have. I would hope it comes to having this self-awareness. I would hope that you have this self-awareness, because when you have this self-awareness, you're like, yeah, me going after him hurts me. It's this self-awareness. It's like, I know that the very thing that I'm doing hurts me. How are you going to identify a problem if you don't see a problem? If you recognize the thing that is hurting you, I won't tell you to resist it, because it's already become a habit for you to search it. The very thing that has been hurting you, that now you realize it hurts me, I won't tell you to resist it, but I will tell you to let things be, but to interrupt the habit, interrupt it and replace it with something else. So in this case, the girl I was talking to, how she was saying that the guy just kind of repels, and they both agreed that, you know, they wanted to just work on each other. And I didn't have much time to talk to her, but I would have told her this. I would have said, in the moments that you feel that you want to go after him, in the moments that you want to chase him, in the moments that you want to look for him, that you long for him, I want you to intercede that habit and plug in some sort of new routine, some sort of sound, some sort of action that interrupts you from doing or thinking of. So in the sense, when you start to think of him, start to challenge your thoughts in the sense like, what can I do right now to help me feel better? What can I do right now that will take my distractions away from him? And I hope I'm articulating this right, in the sense, if I tell you to stop going after him, or if I tell you to stop chasing after the very thing that you're chasing, you're not gonna do it because it's a habit, it's a routine now. But if I tell you to break that routine, or to insert it, to have some sort of ringing noise, for example, with me, one of the troubles I have is going to sleep early and prioritizing sleep. And what ends up happening is I tend to go to sleep late. And I don't like going to sleep late. And me doing that, it's my self-awareness. I'm already aware of the problem. I want to stop the problem, but it's become a habit. And so what I will do, starting now, which is something I just recently realized, is like, I'm going to put an alarm. You said that you're going to do it. You're going to do it. And the reason I'm saying this, it's writing your self-story. So this is a piece of evidence that will override that negative self-story that you have about yourself. So in the case like chasing after him, or going after the very thing that you wish to stop because you know it hurts you, what we would do is that we would interrupt the process, and we would choose, because you have the choice. And I've spoken about it with in my other videos. You have the choice between choosing what you said you're going to do and choosing the very thing that you hate, but yet you're still doing it anyways. And so when you choose to make the hard choice, in that choice, you will override your negative self-story. In that choice, slowly but surely, you will start to compile the evidence that you can trust yourself, that you can love yourself, that you have this abundant mindset, as you should. The next bullet point, which we kind of already dabbled into it, it's choices. So from the self-awareness, you have a choice. And oftentimes the choice, it's not easy. It's easier said than done. If you choose to do the thing, look ahead of the choice, because what ends up happening is that you look at the choice, you look at the present choice, and you're like, I don't want to do that. That's a bit difficult, you know, or like, you know, it's much easier for me to fall into that same pattern of habit because I've already been constantly doing it. But if you repel your thought, like if choice A leads to this and choice B leads to this, you're looking at not just what's laying in front of you, but how your future self will be the outcome of the choices that you make in your present moment right now. Without you even knowing it, you're slowly rewriting your self-story. There's so many things when it comes to the past, which is like in my last video, I think I talked about small choices, right? And I said how humans are the only ones who are able to, like, if you think about it, humans are the only ones to look at the past and look at look at the future. The future's not here, does not concern you, so don't give it your energy because it's not here yet. You don't have to deal with it yet. But the past is gone. Past is dead. Past is intangible. But what ends up happening so often, which is the very reason it's hard for you to break those habits, it's because you have a memory from the past. You have a recollection of stories from the past that you have ultimately decided is, one, I will be a victim of my past, or two, I will transform whatever has happened to me in the past into something better because I will choose better. Dealing in the past where it's like you can recollect the negative things said about you and drag it to your present moment and drag it right now. You can recollect the good things that has happened and stay daydreaming in the past and drag it to the present while still being desperate energy, hoping that you can just grab that memory and bring it here now and relive it again. You can't do that. Because the past is intangible, the past is dead, the past stays in the past. The ability for you to look into the past, it's like a superhero capability, and you have to tame that. When it comes to dealing past negative experiences, it goes about acknowledging those past negative experiences. It's not an all one sitting go, but it's acknowledging and confronting what has happened to you in the past and what has been hurtful. Because when you confront it, instead of pushing it away, there's more damage. You're fighting it. Ultimately, you're not going to be able to fight it for long. What is concealed will be revealed in its due time matter, right? Is that based on your past, who you are today is because of the past. But the past doesn't define you. And you have the choice to say that the past won't define you, because there are some things, it's like you were hurt in the past. Yeah. You were mistreated in the past. Yeah. You were disappointed in the past. Yeah. But you are no longer in the past. So the past doesn't define you. And it's really realizing you can let go of the past if you choose to let go of the past. Because when you choose to let go, you can now focus in the present and to say, I am not who I once was, and I know I can be different in who I am now and today. What ends up happening with dealing things from the past is that every pain that you have gone through, you can always flip it. You can always flip it, and I've talked about it. There's like one video, I don't know if I'll put it up here, but there's one video where I talk about how whatever has happened to you, whatever pain, because pain is inevitable, because, it's a broken world. Whatever it is, you have the choice to flip it around. You have the choice to get a lesson from it, or you have the choice for it to break you down. My hope for you would be, if you were hurt in the past, if the circumstances that happened in the past have just crippled you, you have the choice, because there's a lesson in the past. Like, when you have pain, any type of pain, it's always an opportunity to make you resilient. It's always an opportunity for you to create more endurance in you. But if you're just so blinded and pain has conquered you, you can't see the lesson in it, because you either have pushed it away or you have started now limping in the present with that pain. The only reason why you probably don't see the lessons is because you have been running away from it, or because you've been wanting and living in the past and have been dragging it to the present. You are in a relationship with yourself, and I'm not talking about this self-worth, lovey-dovey. No. How are you talking to yourself that I'm telling you really matters? And it's like, if you just brush it off, then it's like, yeah, well, it's no wonder you're searching relationships. It's no wonder you're jumping into, relationship with guy after guy, because you have not taken the time to do the inner work with yourself. You have not taken the time to see what are the things where I can be better. Not how he can be better for me or how she can be better for me. No, where can you show up to be better? Because when you do that work, you don't have the expectation he's going to show up for me, he's going to do this for me. That's a different story. That's something else different, but it's like you're how you're showing up and how you're talking to yourself. So if you want to call yourself love, hey pretty girl, handsome, whatever it is, however you want to talk to yourself, do so. And so when you speak about it with others and they brush you off, they have still been dealing with their past pains. They have dragged on their past pains. Okay, the battery is literally dying. So to finish it off, our next point, or the last, outro that I would like for you guys to be aware, is just watch yourself, right? Watch your behavior. Watch your behavior and evaluate. Do you like what you're doing? Do you like the thoughts that you're having? And if you don't, where can we start? It doesn't have to be this one big flip. It could just like, what is the one thing I just don't like about myself? And change it. Because the only thing that's stopping you from changing it is yourself. It's yourself. But if you have this self-awareness that's like, I know that the very thing that I'm doing is only hurting me, then there's nothing stopping you to change that part of you. There's nothing stopping you to rewrite your self-story. And it's asking yourself, if the way he showed up for me, can I top that? If the way she showed up for myself, right? If the way I am showing up for myself, I don't like it, how can I top that? How can I change that? So I believe in you guys. If you guys made it till the end of the video, hit that like button, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in my next one. Double dab and go damn bye. There's nothing stopping you from showing up for yourself. Oh wow, I love this. Oh my god. As I was saying before the light cut off, there's nothing stopping you guys. And so I am... Okay. Bloopers.